No, these jealous snakes that's on top of me are lacking in manhood. So they don't want nobody like me to live. They do their damnedest to kill me every day they get the chance, you know. They say that I was a leader in a family of people, which is bull. That's bunk. I had a lot of friends because I play a lot of music. A lot of people like my music. And we were all friends. There was no such thing as follower, leader. There was no leaders or followers. There was just people, intellect, intelligence. There were people.
Well, okay, and if one follows your story through the times on the ranch down in Southern California, it was important for Charles Manson to be a leader, to have people follow him.
Come on, district attorney. See, you're full of brainwash. That's a district attorney. I'm nobody's leader, and I'm nobody's follower. Kids who were working out their problems for that particular time in that particular space. And each had to do what they felt they had to do for the problems that they were working on, which really had nothing basically to do with me. I'm not of the 60s. I'm not a generation of the 60s. The 60s were little kids to me. The Beatles were like punk rock is to you. That's what the Beatles was to me. You know, that's not my era. My era was Bing Crosby. I'm 53 years old. I'm not a teeny bopper. But all the kids, they would come to me and say, we got no place to go. And I'd say, well, I got no place to go. You know, so they were throwaway kids, and I was a throwaway kid.
Tell me a little bit about your background. Tell me, if you could describe your childhood in a couple of sentences, how would you describe it?
I didn't have a childhood.
Tell me a little bit more. Tell me more.
I went to a reform school in '43. And I've been fighting.
If you got out of here, there are a lot of people who think you'd go start killing people again.
Again? Well, you guys are misinformed. I haven't killed anyone. He gets little information from other people. And anybody that wants to tell him something, and what he wants to believe, and what he feels will sell to the public. I go through Vacaville, and I carried Vacaville on my back for 18 years, and they promised me a mainline. 3 doctors took me off Category J. And took me off high violent potential. I go back to San Quentin. They need me for high violence so they can sell this thing to the public that they're selling to the public, so they have more income taxes, build more prisons, and convict the public in their eyes as if they're doing the right thing and protecting the public and doing good, but they're creating more crime. We're creating the crime that's eating us up. We're creating it with our media. We're creating it. Criminals are our children. We don't want to face that, but the criminals are our children.
So the public can feel safe against this monster. We're going to charge you $200 million to build another set of penitentiaries. Why don't you tell the public what's really going on? Why don't you tell them the water's so bad the fish can't live in it? Why don't you tell them that the polar caps are melting because you're creating so much heat with this machine? You see what I'm saying? Why don't you tell them the truth? That we were going to blow the world up in the 60s. But a handful of kids jumped up and said, no, give the other children a chance. And they saved it from being blown.
You have a lousy childhood then.
Yeah, I had a terrible childhood. But I'm from here.
In other words, it didn't get to you.
No, I've never sold out. They've never beat me. I haven't been beaten. And yeah, I run an underworld.
You run an underworld in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that.
You don't see it? I fly birds. I look out for wildlife. I'm trying to redeem my trees. I have an organization called ATWA rolling now, trying to redeem life on the planet Earth from the people that destroy it.
Wait.
Yeah.
Let me interrupt you for a second.
Yeah, well, then we're gone with that thought.
No, because you're getting on
Then we'll go to another one, and then you make me look crazy.
No, you can make yourself look crazy, Charles. Okay. I can't make you look crazy, and please believe me.
All right. I'll believe you, and I'll put it in my left-hand pocket for later.
Let me take you back to...
Who's destroying the Earth, and why?
The things that we do as human beings that are accepted and called right 100 years ago have changed. Years ago, we could cut down trees, and we could afford an exuberant lifestyle. We can't afford that no more. We're running out of atmosphere. We're running out of water. Our water's becoming so poisoned and so polluted, we're not going to be able to drink it. The trees are being cut down so fast. Lumber companies are just... The United States is owned by foreign corporations. Nixon opened it up for foreign trade. And when Nixon opened up for foreign trade, the people of Europe and the common market and Spain and different places, they don't care about the United States forest. And in short, the United States has been sold through the companies and through the tax loopholes. And the people that live on that level, they don't care about the average honest mule that just goes back and forwards to work. They don't care about the children that are in the streets that are thrown out of this upper echelon of existence. And then when all the children fall down into me, on my level, I pretty much identify with them because I was a throwaway also. So it goes to the point of, do you really care?
When you said...
And who does care? And if anybody cares, they're considered crazy. I've been 15 years in the nut ward for trying to stop the trees from being cut down, from trying to rearrange a lifestyle of a bunch of people who don't want to change, but they're going to change because the cold...
Yeah, it would reflect. If you hold the negative up to the light, you don't see the light, you just see the negative. So I'm a reflection of your negative, there's no doubt about that, and I can handle that also.
I know why the queen wears the 3 stripes on her hat, and I know why she goes to Kentucky to get her horses. There isn't anything I don't know from here to the IRA. I know who gets bombed and why those 17 people starved themselves in Belfast.
Do you make friends in prison? Is that possible?
Friends?
Do you have friends in prison?
Mm-hmm.
How do you define friendship?
I live by God's law. I treat everyone just like I would myself. If you treat me right, I'll treat you right. You spit on me, then I've got to spit kind. Prison is the mind. Most of the people that work in the prison are more in prison than the people they've got in prison. They've just got their kids in prison. They got the poor people in prison. They got people that have no money in prison.
I broke no laws, not God's law nor man's law. I've had to survive in a world that you guys don't even have any idea what's going on.
I'm the man in here. And that's a fact.
Finish that.
Have you never felt remorse for the crimes you committed?
What crimes? I
Well,
told you I hadn't committed any crimes.
prison was originally started as a farm. And if you liked the person that came in your courtroom, you gave him another chance to be reborn and enter into a right way of life. Prison was not built to punish people. It was built to help people. That's why they're called peace officers. But sadistic ding-dongs got in there and wanted to make it into be the shadows of what they thought. And the incompetent and the inadequate need to punish someone so they feel better. So it's like in reform school, they used to lay me down and beat me with leather straps till I couldn't walk. And I used to think, what did I do wrong? And for years I would think that I was wrong, that I did something wrong, and then I seen it wasn't that I did anything wrong. They beat me so they show the next kids now what's not to be.
This confusion belongs to you. It's your confusion. I don't have any confusion. I don't have any guilt. I know what I've done.
I didn't kill nobody. I didn't tell nobody to get killed. Okay. I didn't get no trial.
Okay, Mr.
Yeah, we don't want to hear
That's
that.
it.
See,
I don't
we
have.
don't want to mix anything up with the truth.
I told the judge, can't you see what you're doing here? He didn't care. Nobody cared.
When he was finally given the right to testify in court, prosecutor Vincent Bugliosi argued that Manson's hypnotic powers might be too persuasive
And all
to the
you
jury.
comedians, you get up there and tell jokes about Charlie Manson. What would you do if I was in the same room?
I know more about the economy, more about money, more about the government than any 10 presidents you got.
You know, in other words, I sit in solitary confinement and I watched everything you guys do. And the truth is, you're all lying to yourselves. I have empathy for your children. I have understanding for your children and compassion for your children. And I love those kids with my heart and my soul. And I seen the struggle that they were struggling through, being thrown out of their houses, no place to go. Daddy's a rocket scientist. Mama's always drunk. So did I put the kids in the garbage can? Your society put your kids in the garbage can. I picked them out of the garbage can and said, all you got to do, tell the truth and be honest. I go in the vision room and all the kids run over, so they won't let me in the vision room because all the kids come over to play, man. And they get up in my lap, and little 5-year-old get up in my lap, and he'll say, I'm Charlie Manson, give me your money. And he takes their money away from him, and he laughs. He's only 5. But that would make me a bad guy because you would say I was influencing him. But how about him? Is he influencing me? You come and draw a line, you say, you can't get out of there. And I say, out of where? You say, you're locked up. I said, locked up in what? He said, well, you're locked up and we're free. And I said, oh, yeah? And then you walk back and forth and you play important with my life as if you got something that I want. Hey, how you doing? You still in there? Is anybody there? They'll run out and demonstrate for a nuclear power plant and go home and turn electricity on. If you want to demonstrate for a nuclear power plant, don't use electricity. Does it make sense? You know what I'm saying? They want to demonstrate for something on one hand and get their faces up in the camera and like, look at me, I'm different, you know, or pay me to be somebody, you dig? And then on the other hand, they can't be somebody because they go home and turn the fucking electricity on and use the same fucking pollution. You dig what I'm saying? In other words, you can't protest cutting down trees with paperwork. All the people that want to live, stop cutting down trees and stop polluting the ground. I'm nobody. I'm nothing. I'm now. I've been now all my life. My mother went to prison and left me. And everybody's lied to me. My principal is not locked up in a bank, and my soul is not locked up in a government, and my life is not locked up in a penitentiary. You got my body in a cell, but that's only a day, you know. That don't count for no eternity. I'm walking in forever. You've medicated me, you've burnt me, you've beat me, you've stabbed me, you've done everything you can do to me, and I'm still here, and you're still going to have to face the truth about this case sooner or later.